Thank you very much, Mr. Memorandum. Next on our program is a historical speech by one of the elders in the house, no other person than Ibom Osa.
Kupuno Kamba Senawin, Secretary to the State Government of Ibom State, Dr. Akwa, Kupuno Chapter President Audio, Kupuno Board Chairman of our chapter, Dr. Mrs. Sidara Banigor, Kupuno National President, and all other people here present, elders, Kupuno National President, BOT Chairman, Kupuno Chairman, Planning Committee of this project. Mr. Ufawame, get the Giri Kupuse Mugam. So, put on down. Go Baba. When I'm there, you're about to be an animal. Mr. Mukugago, yeah, down. Now you're saying, Katom. Mr. President, Mukabe did not know me the opportunity to give the history. It's a long one, even though you say I can speak as long as I want, but I want to be as brief as I can. The Great Treasury and I get to 1972, get land number 8, Sunset Avenue. It is Morris Brown Post Office though. Around that apartment complex, trainer man. Mr. Secretary is now massive government retire, my own retired gentleman. From there, I migrate to Southern State to Ibom and to Cross River to Ibom. Give us up for Visinam.
Can you help with this?
My war.
Just one arrow. So I can switch between the right and that one. So when this one is full, let me put this. It's gonna see.
You got it there. And the president and so on with influence. You know, it's all meeting. I feel there's all challenge. That we don't have them.
This is like.
And every different the guys like I'm new war. My now I'm getting new war. Then other people really throw challenge. No, we are getting anything like Pakistan. And the film, he get this in the freckles they want to get in some board and party. So it became a challenge to the elders of the community that we should have the property of our own. And that's how it started. And we came to find this place. And we decided to call it our home. Thanks to Chief Christopher Kuromi was the realtor at that time. He was able to get us this place using his influence and putting all the kinds of groups because we didn't have the money that we required to put down to be able to get a place like this. But he was able to do that. No sooner than we bought this place, builders came from all over, all the way from New York, to want to build for us. No, we had not finished the paperwork with the government. We were not approved for anything. So we asked them to wait. But by the time we finished with the government, there was a mortgage breakdown in 2008. So building now becomes a problem. But if I go into that, Hearing about this property, everybody in Akwa, we came here and had a little fun. Some people came from Nigeria and joined us. Came here and facilitate the art form and all that. Other states, organizations, woke up and started buying properties. So I want to tell you, we are the only ones standing.
Well,
The office is up. And the question they keep asking me is, where you going to build a private house? And I keep telling them that it shall be done. Because when we bought this place, we had a motto. It can be done. And we still believe it can be done. We did engage architects, some indigenous from Akwa, 2 of them that I know. But like I said, nobody wanted to give you loan anymore to build a private house. Everything went the other. But we were determined that we're going to pay our mortgage on this property, and we're going to retain this property and eventually own it someday. By the grace of God, people cooperated. Elders, young men, we were able to keep up the mortgage of what it is now. It gave me pleasure, because right from the get-go, we tried to let our government know that we have a good property at a prime location, starting with Qatar. I remember the president at that time went to the airport and waited for him because he said he was coming. But then changed his mind that he's not coming. So we had to go and wait at the airport and hand him a proposal and some newspapers from Nigeria. It was not his fault, because as we are, somebody left here from Washington and went to Dr. Victor and said, don't do anything with those people. We don't want to mention names. But he listened to that person instead of coming to hear our own side of the story. And then came a value. The same representation. And so you got a better guru. They can't just all around the Guinea or pocket. It's like the way things you go for the bad was all. You died on a guy was okay with you, can get that. But you have to leave. We tried to go to the office and drop a letter, nobody would let us get past a certain area. But we knew that somewhere, somehow, we would have a break. There was a time he came to Orlando to go to one church. I invited him, said he would come. He came for me, and I'm before he couldn't do. But I was saying, I went there. You are my team there, economy to Uganda, one man, you can walk about a lady, take me the job about value, and I got it on. Meso, no, they would have no history. I mean, the people are guessing and that. So, you know, young woman, get a naked. Move on the cabinet, get a woman, can you want to move over? And the Basin Bombay, some war, you know, young me, and some war, and some war. When I come to take a younger gun, Nick. Oh, we're not faced. We're determined. As some of us got tired, other people came in and made sure we paid mortgage, because that was our challenge. And so it was like music to us when this gentleman sitting here decided that he would honor our invitation and come look at our property. And he did. And he came on that. And so then he looked at the property and then he said exactly what we thought it was. He said, this is sitting on a prime location. Kemidami Guru Airport. And Yaku. President ni mo iti. Ya even mo kami kiwoy, finally. Our patience paid off. Okay, I can't delay the way down because we did not take action like he said we should take. Last year, August. By now, maybe they will call with that idea, so force never. So we tell you what it is opportunity. It will go on thing. Now, down. That means you're not a politician. You are a well-seasoned citizen who stands by his words and does what he said he would do. So whatever may be done for any deal to do, any mention of Ibom house get land there. Yeah, mention him.
Thank you so much, the people. This junction, ladies and gentlemen, the man with the gold. No, before I get there, Miss Akisan, USA, current Miss Akisan USA. And Miss Presenter, please stand to recognize. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce the man with the golden gun. For the panel who have watched that movie. The man that has made or completed the move that has led to where we are. The digital president of Pakistan, the USA.
Akwa Ibom, Ibom know you. But I really apologize for coming late. Traffic through downtown was terrible. But all the same, I'm here. So please forgive me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. At this point, I hand over to Baby.
Akwa Ibom. Next on our agenda is the remark by the Current House Project Committee Chairman, Engineer Basi Tebase.
Akwa Ibom Zone. My name is Zone. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. Seen how many times they get down, they go young, no dress, they go in the middle of the week. What we did today. Boy, we are one forever. It has been a very long journey. The based on the one I can explain that different places they get to on this organization. I mean, Matt Dondi, Atlanta University, because they are meeting too. It was love, nothing but love that put us together. Don't get out of the I developed a special love for this organization because maybe on what love can do for you within your own family. Then it might be the body of your back to America, for instance. Pray we survive back together. It is very lovely. Thank you very much. I want to give a special thank you to the National President, Engineer Itoro Akwa, for his effort. Because when I was the local chapter president, met a meeting, Ibom house, other states. It is nothing but a space in the office, in the complex, just a space. So my Ibom house, they had that space. It was not that space because I won't near the next apartment. So Atlanta, I got the only one. I mean, the only thing Ufo, and on what I go, and yeah, make it go to the So it is built, this is the only chapter in this organization. It goes so much advanced. The national president, for his effort to convince the local chapter president, Mr. Nonio, about Kepa Fund, saying he get control of this place. I like it because these are the two people that have spearheaded events and activities for this chapter. A picture of the whole world as one of the best. Udo cannot get a bonamio, but more outside. I'm able to a pipe of house. More beyond, everybody able to November for the yes. Really? In a case you're going to go from the yes. Guess what? Meaning that it becomes our own. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to especially thank the SSG. And to you, last time I got here in Ibom, I was there. It's a quite decent packet group for me. And here he done, in all the promises that he's going to do for us. And guess what? He's here again to fulfill those promises. From the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank you for the effort you have made towards this progress. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Ownership of this house, they are go a long way. If you can, India, I come about to the big good India hotel. Enemy, 11 o'clock, and I know. 11 o'clock, 10:45, enemy telling you to leave. But the man don't from him. We are more relaxed. We are more relaxed. And every time we come here, we feel so relaxed and at home, just like an extension of your own personal house. So, ladies and gentlemen, as the chairman of the house project here, my take was to say that it is going to be more beneficial than we ever thought. Can remind you for in my prayer for. Thank you very much for all the organization. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the House Project.
Many times.
Well, the manager, no, the HPC chairman. So, the question has always been what next after paying off the mortgage. The next thing on our agenda is a new project concept that will be handled by no other person than Engineer Sir Michael Asuko.
Akwa, with due respect to our visitor, he has a very unique name for me. I have come to love that name. So this is a historic occasion, which to me is kind of like where we change the baton to go forward, like in a relay race. If you one race, we are about to change the baton so that another race can start. And this is where the real business is. So the SSG, just like we discussed, I think this time last year, we are giving you a briefing on what we are planning to do and the constraints we have, which one of the major constraints is why we are all gathered here today. Now that this constraint is taken care of, what we are proposing here is to be a multi-purpose event center, a center of excellence in this neighborhood. And we are leveraging on the proximity to the Atlanta International Airport, which is about 10 minutes from here. And looking at these demographics, in this area, we have a lot of Africans. We have a lot of people that love to celebrate. And then if you look around, all the event centers around here, it is always fully booked from January to December. So
Right now, all of us are sitting on a gold mine waiting to be explored. So what we are looking at doing is to raise, at the minimum, a 500-seater hall that will be partitioned in such a way that smaller groups can also rent the space. And it's going to be acoustically finished in such a way that whatever this side is doing does not affect the other side. And then we are going to have ancillary spaces. We want to promote Akwa Ibom culture, so at the front, we're going to have our own gallery of arts that will display our culture, things that are from Akwa Ibom, made in Akwa Ibom stuff. And we also have some office spaces or stores, or for anybody that wants to rent, who would like to have something like maybe a small, either to-go restaurant or something that everybody knows, that can come around here and eat. And then the hall is going to have its own kitchen and space at the back for changing a change room, and also some other spaces that you have for storage and for logistics and all that. And I remember you said that you would have loved to have at least a few rooms where if somebody comes in from Akwa Ibom State, he can reach here if he's stranded and be sure that he's able to pass the night. So that is one of the things you proposed. So I'm bringing to you. But the key thing is we want to create something that we can remember, something that will survive all of us. It's not easy to host Akwa Ibom name in the United States of America. So this would be kind of like the liaison of all Akwa Ibom people, where we know that we have a place we call our own. And this is no mean feat in the United States with all the bureaucracies and everything. So that is what we are having in mind. And we believe that the government, which you are representing, would want to key into that project and partner with us so that we can get this on board and to the benefit of all of us. So in the next couple of months, we believe that this conversation will continue, whereby we'll be able to provide some schematics of the design where everybody is okay, and then show everybody before we can now proceed to the next phase. Thank you, and God bless. Next on our agenda is a leadership/accountability remark by no other person than Mrs. Christy Woodall.
Akwa Ibom song. Akwa Ibom song. Ibrahim Akwa Ibom know you. All protocols observed. I stand here filled with gratitude to even be asked to say a couple of words. The Bible says, "This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." This is a very special and unique day in the history of Pakistan Atlanta chapter and its members. A lot of us, and welcome, sir, welcome, Mr. SAT. And thank you for lending us your ears. Thank you for fulfilling the promise that you made. Thank you so much. As Mr. Oyobong has stated and other speakers, Pakistan Atlanta is one of the oldest chapters in this nation in USA. I remember when we first came here, my husband, Mr. Fan, in 1976, things were not going too well with the Southeast Association, which turned into Cross River State Student Association. So our people talked my husband into trying to revive the organization. So in 77 and 78, we took up the mantle and we did the best we could. I want to thank all the elders, all the presidents of this organization. And so if you can just give me 2 minutes. I would like all the past presidents of this organization. If you have taken any part in this organization, your cabinet and everybody else, please stand. Them to stand is that they were instrumental in bringing this dream. And I want to thank a younger generation who have taken up the mantle from where we left. There are some places where organizations change hands, leadership changes, and what one person started, the next person does not want to complete. But I want to thank everybody who has stepped in, contributed, because when we started, there were times we didn't have the mortgage money to pay. And it was those people who were diligent enough to dip in their own pockets to pay. And now, things are a lot better than they used to be. And this is the beginning of a brand new day for Artisan Atlanta and for Artisan USA as a whole, because other chapters will take example from what we have done. They will talk, there will be a competition to see who is going to do it better. But the one who started first is always going to lead, and that is Artisan Atlanta. So thank you so much, everyone who has turned out. Like our president said, if it was a weekend, this room will not contain all of us. So I thank everyone who has come in to take part in this big day. And I thank you very much, sir, for honoring us. God bless you. God bless you.
Mrs. Christie, permit me at this juncture to
But you know what? You think that politics is dirty. Okay, sit there, don't get involved. You don't get involved. Idiots, I'm quoting, idiots will get there and make laws and you obey. It's part of their brilliance. That was the turning point. The turning point. So this is my one point. That game is not a dirty game. It is human beings who have no probity of moral conduct, who have no sense of integrity, who are not proprietary official conduct is very minimal. Very well. I don't know what the matter. You that's the things not going to go with you. Also, I will look back before you do things right. So somebody no, this is how we've been doing it now. Don't tell me that. Tell me. You see, ask yourself, is that the best way to do it? As you know, I leave office on average 10:30, 11:30 economy. So I wanted, that's point number one, that I wanted to do some personal remarks. The second one is about what this graceful lady that came there to Jerusalem to me as a guide. And I said, wow, this they can well go for Itoro's girlfriend in terms of the charm. Okay? And then she was talking about womanhood, and then whatever spoke about that, a man should say something. You know something I know? I do hear the Lord in the Bible said, prior to fertilization, gender was non-existent. So you are male or female, you are shared product of chromosomal accident. That's what you are. So that you are male or female should not confer on you any special privilege of superiority over a woman. I get paid when I hear women. That is but you know, they asked me once in a later meeting, I was describing who a woman is and who a man is, that both are needed, indispensably relevant in the context of what God created them for. And that why women are much more honorable, much more self-respecting, much more detailed, much more intuitive. And if you give them a task to execute than Balawa, that this was able to know, who told you? These women who do weightlifting, you saw them in the Olympics, all right? Broad chest, why? That condition make crayfish. Then, so you keep on doing that all the time. See their laps, a lot of muscle. If they give a young man a big slap on the spot, it's not in front of the man. The governor says of quality knows no gender. Quality knows no gender. Permanent secretaries are more, as you know, in the permanent secretaries, more women are permanent secretaries, but the kind of where majority of them were chairman of boards of commission. So for me as a man with the poem and the governor, both of us, I see a human being in front of both competencies. Period. I don't see gender. I don't know whether you're wearing blouse or shirt. It's absolute nonsense. Total nonsense. So I always tell women, don't say this is our time, or don't sometimes they say, Rabbi will say, what a man can do, a man can do better. I said, no, don't say better, because you'll be replacing or substituting chauvinism with chauvinism. When you say can do better, no, you say can do likewise or can do exactly well. Never you say better, because what you say better, you've only discriminated. And no. And I don't tolerate any derisive statements about the woman. My office don't try that. I've worked at somebody before for talking nonsense about the woman. So you are not a woman, or you are not a man because you fought harder. You emerged victorious over a woman, because prior to fertilization, gender was non-existent. So who can you show? So that's the one. That I take 3 points. The third point is what you said, man. Because they knew about it based on this Dagada. What I'm saying is part of Dagada philosophy. Okay, is a form of man danger. All right. I don't discriminate against. I take everybody as myself. Please let us know this as a parliament. From Uyo to Ini, less than 1 hour. From Uyo to Eastern Obolo, less than 1 hour. From Uyo to Mbo, less than 1 hour. It's a state that from Uyo, the state capital, to any of the local government headquarters, you can reach in less than 1 hour. That's one. Two, where you come from, nobody negotiated with God where he or she was born. So that's someone's identity. So for you to allow the geographic accident of where somebody was born to determine the veracity of what somebody says, or to profile someone, very mediocre. We know about it. I hear about the system. You know, doctor, you don't come to me with sentiments when I want to take decisions. But I take decisions based on facts.
Make sure it's
Wait a minute. He was ambassador. The penultimate ambassador of US to Nigeria came on a farewell visit to Akwa. By my office, I received governors and ambassadors from the airport. So I picked him from the airport. And we were exchanging battles. Madam, then I made a statement that prejudices don't pay. That mankind is thousands of years beyond where it ought to have been because of discrimination. And he goes, what are you saying? Well, I repeated, I said, mankind is thousands of years behind where it ought to have been because of discrimination. I'm going, how? This is what I told him. When you discriminate on the basis of gender, religion, or place of birth, you trust the untrustworthy and distrust the trustworthy. That's what you do in all your undertaking. When you trust the untrustworthy, this is what happens. When you bypass Mia and pick someone else, and she knows that the person you are bringing to do the job you are about to step aside from, that person is not as competent as she is. From the day she knows, she was very productive, high level, high flyer. From the day she knows that she has been bypassed because of the language she speaks or where she comes from, what religion she practices, that woman's productivity dwindles. Because she feels that you have bypassed them. All right, now you brought a mediocre to succeed you. Because you brought a mediocre, the society suffers because you brought a mediocre. So society suffers because the brilliant person who was very productive is feeling discriminated against, stops performing. The mediocre you brought here, because he was not as sound as you are, society loses here, loses there. So I told the ambassador, cumulatively, religion, gender, ethnicity, geography, put together over the hundreds of years, we have been bypassing excellence because of this discrimination. Since we have been bypassing and abandoning excellence over the hundreds of years, therefore where we ought to have been, we are yet to get there. This guy never wanted a word until I remember of his gala night. His speech was on what I still told him inside the car. Governor told him, basically that's your theory. He says, I said, that is not my theory, but I discussed with him. And I was having that in PPT. He said, you know what the man told me after gala night? That no one had ever mentioned that to him. I hope I'm carrying on before. So that's why I said, please permit me to start with those two, because I was listening to it and I said, wow, how do these statements turn into Dakada to my son and be the best? That's why I said, please permit me. Oh, sorry, I'm here to make those statements. Now let me come to this.
I can find a point between 0 and 1.
My immediate older brother, Joseph Akwa, is Catholic Archbishop Calabar Province.
Leveling.
And there's something he told me which I won't forget. He said, in fact, if somebody praises you, overall you were not the one deserving of the praises. When is your time to respond? Alright? But to the kiddo of A and B that deserve the praises. And he said, if you refuse to say so, when is your time to speak? For the no, I don't know. I heard it from that. This was some years ago that he told me this. When I tell the Lord, I know what the man told me. My Lord told me, he said, the Lord, what is it? I said, the town. I said, that's correct. That's correct. But this building, give credit to this young man. credit to edifice. This one man after edifice, give credit to Bobby Onofio. And I want to say this in context because of the pressure and the invitation. And when I came down here, I wrapped it and they took me to behind a lot of barbecue, a lot of fun. And the way to keep on reminding me Atlanta, and he was no longer brand president. All right? What I want to say is, I think Margaret Angoro, former president, should stand something like that. Okay? Or Mauda, correct? Akwa State, the governor says often, and I agree with him, we are on a relay match. For you to be a member of Team Akwa, and you are the incumbent governor, in a relay match, the first segment runner run and hand over the baton to the next segment. Am I right? Mm-hmm. Now, and the next segment, the second segment run, hand over the baton to the third segment runner. Let me ask a question. The first segment runner who handed over the baton to the second segment runner, what is his or her wish for the second segment runner? In order for the team to succeed, he wishes it to run better. Is it not so? Good. Now, when the third segment runner hands over to the third segment runner, the two previous segment runners, what is their wish for the third segment runner? Oh, it should even sprint. Then the last segment runner, the one that, the finisher, the previous three segment runner, they are like this, applauding them. That guy should even fly, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm proud of Akishan Atlanta. Very proud. Chapters are trying to touch, as you don't know. Some as up to date as the granite. Some we have understanding or ego or whatever. So Atlanta branch, you showed a very good example of continuity in governance. That is why we are sharing. Please say, oh, don't start it nonsense. But let's move to another place. We will never be where you are here. But when you build on the accomplishment of their predecessor and another successor, you keep on building on top of the other, then you excel. That's why I told somebody, because why am I so, I never live in Atlanta, I've never lived in Atlanta. I only come and go. But the way they conduct themselves inspires me. So that's what I'm saying, that these young men who reminded us, when he came last, the governor remembers what I told him. So, Excellency, I've seen a good business in Atlanta. Zero, because as soon as I arrived at Bible State, after having gone out for an official assignment, I was going to read the government. That's the work of it. Even as you the government, you see the governor first, and we plan the day, and before you go to bed, before you leave the office, you know what happened the following day. So I went to read the government. Excellency, a good business opportunity in Atlanta. So what kind of business is that? And I told him, this place is, as you know, when he was responding to your pressure. And we made them more very well. I asked him about Atlanta Airport. Am I the people get my phone? Who's that going on? I didn't walk on more. You know? I'm not sure, but we have not lived in Atlanta before. So at least I can tell what I can tell you here is that when he took me from here to the airport, I didn't spend up to 7 minutes. So at least, even though I have no sense of direction here, but I mean, I know where back. You know, and that is what happened. Because as Edifice said, sorry, I call him Edifice because of his, now he's about to build an edifice properly, you know. I want to share with you, everything has been said, I agree. But can I tell you something? You will know that. More than saying that we do a lot of medical missions. We have not yet started doing educational missions. Nobody knew the power of teleeducation, distance learning, or virtual meetings until COVID came. And we used what was already in existence. There are many young acquaintances. This is an engineer, a professional colleague. That's an engineer. This is an engineer. There's another engineer I heard he started somewhere.
Engineer.
And then another engineer there. So there are a good number of engineers here. You can empower. By the time you finish the building, medical mission too by telemedicine. It's just simple. You see, my way back because of insufficient knowledge. But you put your expertise, there's a professor here, somebody here with about 2 or 3 PhD, the gentleman in suit. All right, can he have a company called supersonic jet to reach a bank? No. If you have a tunnel here with broadband, that expert, you, all of us, you place your expertise here at the disposal of people at home. And you add value. You contribute to increasing longevity and life expectancy in medical science. So a lot of the American missions, you also got some special counseling, diagnosis from a distance. The same thing with education. Those of us who are, mathematics or physics, chemistry, they need to explain to young people. Some teachers derive, as I told the commissioner for the voting, got me upset. How can you mystify mathematics by making it difficult? And then from our class, for this time they took book, that all those children they look at you, get a superstar. We told you, but only a mediocre mystifies what your teacher teaches. We don't do that. We don't. Simplify it, make it exciting. And you have a lot of ideas. The first big English word, as I told you, and learn. I know from the devil. You know what Devil was a primary school teacher and catechist. So, and in the Catholic Church we say, if your father is a public school teacher in the Catholic school and also catechist, so you are brought up with 3 IPA. IPA ke kufong, IPA ke kufong we, IPA ke kufong abasi. So, by the time you go to 3 kobokos, you are tough now. And this is what he said. So the tax user. I'm not going to do you know what I said, Papa? It's compensatory. That's the first big word. And I didn't understand what it meant. He explained to me that when somebody walks like this, the inside is empty. So he's swearing to compensate for the emptiness. So come out with sound, I don't self-come, he doesn't have to do this. That, I can never forget that explanation. So you guys can teach a lot. So add it to the list, the very good list when you do that. I'm very excited about this. Thank God the governor to be will be in Charlotte. Next year when he's sworn in by God's grace, I always say by God's grace because I thought that I'm not theologically presumptuous. Because you must go through election, you must win election before you become governor, before you are sworn in. He buys into this kind of stuff. Then you also have the African Event Center, the hall with parallel meeting rooms. You can rent out so many people going on in parallel. As I told edifice, not many rooms, maybe 5. If somebody, even the organizer of the event here who has rented this place, maybe he's coming from far away to look in order for me to superintend about this event that is starting. The following day I want to stay in your chalet, and not free of charge. It's made available to whoever is hosting the event here. And above all, this is the political part of this, the political part of this. You need a governor's diplomatic suit, so that this becomes the liaison office for the senior special assistant diaspora affairs. So I can tell you, in case you do that, any governor of Akwa will say, and is coming for any investment meeting or a commissioner, we will fly from New York, from wherever to Atlanta. You know why? You come and see, Akwa house, at the governor's office. Yeah. That's why we're busy looking at it. I didn't see Akwa will say fly. That's why I'm going to find the brand president. So, I said, governor's office is so complex. It's a mind-blowing experience for that investor that wants to come to Pakistan. So we need room for that part of the culinary content, constant restaurant and bar. As I told someone, we have about 17 cans of soup in the Bible. started listening, they will own their money. How many years? I said 17. I will have come. After Kurusa, Ikoro, Obono, Fisherman, Otonson, Ejiro. No, I think I can't. All the rest 17. Yeah, for those of us who grew up in Lagos, those of us who are negotiators, we only have a 4 and a wheel. Even this a 4, a wheel, everything is clear, go tap to your thing, I don't care, wheel. Tell them what up. No, that's no soup. And when they come to the area, my level, the area, the area, we see wow, I just watched them. But Uyo now has become the hottest sought after federal retreat destination in Nigeria. You really know. Every day, letters are pouring in. And sometimes they look for some support. So give them support. Let's be like Israelis. How many people are coming for the retreat? Perhaps themselves, perhaps MBAs, maybe 200, 100. Okay, all the hotels in town. For how many days? We didn't have calculation. Okay, I haven't a call already. So we get a total support. So what they brought in is far more than what we did as support. When you subtract the two, we have a profit for the economy. So I do the analysis that we accept. So what I will tell them, hospitality in Akwa will say is so abundant that if you want to take maximum advantage of our hospitality, I can land you in the hospital. It's a joke. It's a joke. Quoting me. Too much hospitality lands you in the hospital. So please be careful the way you consume Akwa will say hospitality. So I am really thrilled by Atlanta branch. I was told by the president that he had wanted to be a national secretary. After his explanation, has detected, without mentioning names, petty jealousies. Either there is nowhere on earth which you will not encounter jealousies and envy. Everywhere. In politics is even worse. But the point is that you have to have a large heart. Then you let go. But when you do these things with all the things that if you said, there should be a first-class event center. I will say there's no office in the US, and the governor will say knows he has a suite where he comes to hold investment meetings, where commissioners come, everybody comes, the local government chairman would have a large guest traffic, not free of charge. Not free of charge. No, instead of spending it somewhere, they spend it here. And then you have others who will be here looking for them. As I think the governor that came when I was in Your Excellency, as I was going around with the web, 3 groups came to prospect this place for rent. Oh yes. And I asked them, what are they doing here? They said they are coming to prospect, where they could rent it for a weekend. Already the way it is. So the governor said at the end of the day, bring them now. Go and bring men. He took a governor that has capacity in the private sector to appreciate what I was describing to him, that there was a business content in what I was saying. Not necessarily for him as we don't go with Emmanuel, and he will last beyond him. There are so many people who do not think beyond their noses, who don't see beyond their noses. So petty, so parochial, so myopic. Such people should not lead. Lastly, as I take my seat, we signed this document, though I know that we're going to modify it, but I just observe that the MOU is on your letterhead. Is it not so? This is your letterhead. You see, you are learning MOU between government, because it is, you have to put it on the page sheet where you are Alligan logo and according government logo as co-investor on the page. But I will still sign symbolically to the ceremony. Later on, we tidy it up. Yes, I will still sign it. unless you bring me a superior argument before I will shift. You go say, go. I went to Catholic seminary. Allah will be somewhere, and your man seated there. As I always say, you know Reverend Father, you know Reverend Daddy. You know, it's a difference between the two. Reverend Father, he's a Reverend Daddy. I'm a Reverend Daddy. Reverend Fathers are those who are celibate and are celebrating Mass. Reverend Daddies are those who went through seminary training, who still have the discipline in them to live good Catholic Christian life. And I think that's what Karen Reagan do when I was doing this. I said, are you sure? I don't want. Like Joe is already there now. I want to be a married man. And he prayed for me. He prayed for me. And he knows that not all of us will be Reverend Fathers. But he said, remain good Catholic Christian. I can't forget, it's in my subconscious forever to do what is right. So I wish Atlanta branch the very best. I will report what I saw this evening, even on the working day. So essentially that's I needed that video clip that I can play it in ESCO. Because after this $80,000, I said you WhatsApp. Oh, you forwarded them. So you should have already the $80,000 by now. Okay, check, because it was 10 and 70. I wanted to be sure that you receive it before I started this talk. So you would say I want to do 419. You know? So after this will be the development of the project. Because when edifice finishes the master design, all these component parts, then to develop the project, given the percentage you give to government, equitably, then the government will contribute the same amount of money so that you can start developing. So that's why in Pong or Bangpong, you have to see with the money. You have to use the mother has a session, private session. So you have to know one probably one of those probably very high esteem, and I think you better one or two. So I think those of you from time to get to know him, he said, Umar is a very straightforward, business-centric person. In fact, the governor will say that Mona will do a better job than himself. It's correct. And I like the governor's humility and honesty in saying so. Mona is a smart businessman and very patriotic. You know, very strict guy. That's how we're able to flow with him. So I hope to reach both of you discuss business so that when he takes over by God's grace next year, then you know what to do for him to bring, when you finish the master design, what percentage he will bring as government. So they will not bless and keep all of you in Jesus' name.
Thank you very much, SSG. The final thing on our agenda is the signing of the memorandum by both parties.
Cameraman, where are you? Where is it? Boss, camera, where is it? I can take over.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. No, that brings us to the end of the part one of this event.
Comment can be done to consider it done?
So we're gonna have a light refreshment and dance.
I can try it. I can try it.
You can do it.
Video and this video and this yeah, that one I'm asking. In this or video?
What is that?
Picture or video? One, two. One. My sister.
Thank you. Come on. When oh, do you?
I will send it to you before. Okay. Give me a good shot. Then send to my kids. First will be with this, then I'll take it off. Then I'll let them know of the recording.
Of the record? I didn't. Okay.
You'll be there inshallah.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna be playing the DJ.
Oh, okay. Okay, record more.
Yeah.
Get the disc. Yeah, I need to give you my number.
Let me retake the last one. Okay.
That's on my, that's your phone, right? Yeah. 713. $198 6408. Up to forward them to me.
Thank you.
Let me take it to the food. Oh, that's fine. Good morning. Take care of that job. It's live on Facebook. Yeah. I forgot in the beginning. They didn't go live, but I recorded it.
So the link about will not be made the video itself.
I have the video locally. There's also on Facebook and YouTube. You should go there.
So how are you feeling?
I was doing a little diesel before, but diesel is very good. Yeah. Oh yeah. This afternoon is better now. Yeah.
Miss you.
I know. Next time.
Planning on San Diego.
San Diego for sure. Yeah. Right.